So K. Michelle, who's a singer from, I guess, the late 2000s, early 90s or whatever, says that men aren't good. And she said the only two men that are good are Barack Obama and Jesus Christ. So here's what I want you all to understand. Her definition of what is good and what is not good, or what is bad and what is good, that's coming from her perspective. If you are, and I'm going to use an allegory because it's easy to understand. If you're a wildebeest or an antelope and you live on the Serengeti Plains in Africa, then lions are not good, cheetahs are not good, leopards are not good. So your perspective dictates your definition of what is good and what is bad. If you are an assertive man who speaks up for himself, who refuses to allow women to shame him or dictate to him how he should live his life, if you are independent, if you express your masculinity and you're unapologetic about it, if you are strong, if you basically tell women exactly how you feel and force them to respect your words, if you refuse to allow them to trap you or use you for your money, if you exercise your option and have lots of women, then you're going to be considered a bad man or not a good man. Now, on the flip side, if you are a man who's willing to entertain women with jokes and humor and pay for their meals and their clothes and help finance their lifestyle and help them take care of their children by other men, if you are a man who is willing to sit up and listen to women for hours on end and let them use you as an emotional tampon wherein you are left to hear all their stories about the sex and the relationships they're having with other men, you're going to be considered a good man. In K. Michelle's case, a woman who is approximately 40 years old, 37, 30, 40, more or less, she's clearly dealt with a lot of men who didn't take her crowd because those are the type of men she thinks she deserves. She dates what a lot of you call alpha men. And as an alpha man myself, and what that means is I have a lot of options. And so I don't have to be good in her sense, in her definition of the word. I can be bad. I don't have to cooperate with a woman or pay for her bills or take her out to dinner. I don't have to do any of that. And so because of that, I would be considered a bad man also, or not a good man, as she said. And so she's dated men like this. She is basically a woman who's dated all these alpha level men who forced her to have to respect them. They weren't running after her. They weren't trying to treat her well. Maybe they bought her a few meals and then you have to play the game. But what I'm saying is she's dealing with the ramifications or the consequences of her own decisions of dating these alpha men. She's basically a woman who's been left or abandoned by a bunch of alpha men that she could never tame, that she could never bring down to the point where there would be subservient, submissive type men. And so because of that, her perspective on men is that we're all bad except Jesus Christ and Barack Obama, who both, if you read the Bible, they were nice. Jesus Christ was a good man, willing to sacrifice for everybody, even if they were unworthy. He fed people. He died for everybody else. He's clearly a beta male. Same thing goes for Jesus, Barack Obama. He had a very masculine woman who, even now, openly disrespects him and doesn't submit to him, and probably would consider and who thinks she's better than him because she had her education before he did, and at one point he worked under her. So she still thinks she's the smarter of the two and that he owes his presidency to her. She, by her own admission, is, thinks she's better than Barack Obama, and she has said some things that are disrespectful, which show that, he kind of is submissive to her. So he's also a good man in most women's eyes. They want a powerful simp that they can control. And so Barack Obama epitomizes that. But if you're a good man, if you're a bad man, and it's neither here nor there. Meaning, it only depends on who's labeling you. And what I ask you men to do is be assertive, be confident, know your wealth, know your value. If you follow mine, work for yourself, work to improve yourself, put yourself first. And if you follow those tenets, women will also tell you that you are not a good man. Here, where I am, I'm surrounded by beautiful women. They tell me all the time, you have the mind of a mob boss or the mind of a mobster. It's because I'm cold with them. I tell them exactly how I expect it to happen. If they don't do it, they can leave. And for the most part, I'm the same way in the United States, which is why I don't have a lot of girlfriends there, because those women in the United States are taught to look for men that they can manipulate, that they can take advantage of, who they can rob for their wealth and money and resources and time. And so because of that, I don't even get along with those type of women, because in effect, those women are masculine. They want the same thing. They want your time. They want to be the boss. They want to be in charge. They want to tell you what to do. And I repel women like that because I'm a masculine man. And so because of that, I don't even bother anymore. I just go where women understand that, okay, this is a real man, this is a masculine man, I'm gonna have to submit. They don't call me bad here. They don't say I'm not a good man. The definition of what you should be as a man, if you are in a relationship, generally speaking, with children, and you've made that commitment, a protector and a provider. And it doesn't matter, well, as long as you do your protection and providing within the confounds of the law, what is good and what is bad is irrespective. Did you do your job? That's the only question. So, fellas, what I'm telling you is disregard K. Michelle. She's just another woman using shaming tactics, trying to get you all back to the plantation, trying to get you to submit, trying to get you to change your ways, because the first response is, oh, I'm not a bad guy, I'm a good guy. And that's a way, it's no different than when a woman tells, when you first start dating a woman, and she tells you about all the bad experiences she had in her previous relationship, how he was abusive, how he was emotionally abusive, how he was physically abusive, and she does that so that she can keep you doing things for her. Because the minute you hear he did all that stuff, you say, well, I don't want to be like that. Let me be the exact opposite of what I think he was. So then it just keeps you on the string. It just keeps you paying for meals and being there, helping her move the furniture, changing tires, washing cars, all kind of belittling stuff like you're a servant. That's a trick that women use, and all that Kate Michelle has done is said, there are no good men. And so now you're going to have a bunch of men saying, well, I am a good man. And they're basically going to proselytize themselves in front of her, bow down before her, accept her religion of symptom, and do whatever she says. That's what she's asking. That's the call that went out, fellas. That's basically the call that went out. So disregard it. It's just a shaming tactic used by another entertainer who's damn near 40 years old, who should have been married and probably a grandma by now, but on her way to being a grandma. But she decided to date all these men over the past 20 years, 25 years since she's been actively sexually active, and now she's feeling she's experiencing the effects of her bad decisions. It's not something you should pay attention to. Continue forward. Love yourselves. Be confident. Speak up for yourselves. Don't let people use you. Don't let women use you. I don't care how beautiful they are. Continue to build yourselves, uplift yourself. Tell yourself how wonderful of a human being you are. And if you feel so inclined, do good things for people who deserve it. Not that crying, whining woman who has her hand out all the time telling you that you're not a man, or you're not manly enough, or you're not a good man because you don't want to entertain her and take her out to dinner and buy her clothes and help her pay for her children by other men. That does not define who you are as a good man. You continue doing for yourself and loving yourself. And if you continue on that path and you're very selective with who you'll eventually find the type of woman that you need to be with. And clearly it's not the type of woman like Kay Michelle who's been burned, who's by her own choices made, she's dealt with the same type of men who've treated her the same And because she couldn't get them to bow down, then now she's at the point, apparently, based on some of the lyrics I read, she's going to try and get one of these young hood thug dudes that she can control based on that, who's good for sexing and also telling them what to do, because that's their second option. Once they realize they can't deal with these alpha males, then what they'll do is they'll go get a young guy and try to manipulate him. That's why you have the rise of some of these cougars. The older men don't go for the games. Men who are comfortable and confident in themselves, who don't need their mommy, don't go for it. And that's basically what's happened. I used to be like these you young guys. I used to be 18, 19 years old, needy, always needing, thinking I needed the attention of a woman, thinking, you know, I was going to make myself worthy because of my hard work and efforts and, you know, the picket fence and the house and all that stuff, you know, live happily ever after. But I realized that's not what women want. They want to control themselves and they want to control you. And if you're powerful, they definitely want to control you, and they want to keep you under control because they want to exercise their authority through you. So, fellas, when you don't do that, when you don't cooperate, when you stand up for yourself, they're going to deem you not a good man. They're going to deem you a bad man. But that's not what God wants for you. God wants you to follow his plan, not some woman. If that were the case, then Adam and Eve would still be in the Garden of Eden because Adam wouldn't have followed Eve's plan. If that were the case, then there's so many lessons throughout history and even in biblical texts where when men follow what women want, when they submit to these women, whether it be King Solomon, who's the wisest of men, whether it be Samson, who's the strongest of men, Adam, who's the first of men, whenever they submitted to the will of the women around them, they failed, they lost. So what I'm telling you is stand up straight, stand up strong, speak the truth. Always put God first, put yourself first in earthly matters, and continue to prosper, brothers. But disregard what K. Michelle says. Who wants to listen to an entertainer anyway? And has been an entertainer at that. But either way, I'm going to let you guys go. This is Dennis Sperling, Raw and Unfiltered. But Raw and Unfiltered Dennis, please take time to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate it. God bless you, brothers. And to you sisters, don't pay attention to K. Michelle. Don't let her create more confusion. She's another entertainer. Just another entertainer who should not even be given a forum in these very serious matters. Who is she to say that? If I flipped the script and said there are no good women, you guys would probably try to get me banned from Facebook and YouTube. So disregard that generalization. That's my thoughts on it. You all be blessed. I love you. And I look forward to the comments. Have a wonderful day.